The S20 Plus feels like the stable middle child between the S20 and the S20 Ultra that held the group and family together. And yeah, it's almost like Malcolm in the middle. And yes, I know it sounds like a very strange analogy in that sense, but the marketing focus on the S20 series leans so heavy on the S20 Ultra that although it was a beast of a phone, and to be honest, it's still a beast of a phone, it missed focus, pun intended, on key areas that, at that extreme price point, we all know it was the autofocusing issues on the camera, which, it was such a big shame because it basically took away everything that was great about the S20 Ultra. Now, this was a big reason for the purchase of the S20 Plus right here. And yes, you've not seen much coverage on the S20 Plus on the channel over the months and the weeks that have gone, but there's actually a good reason for that because this is technically not my phone. It's actually my wife's phone, which she upgraded from her S9 Plus, in which she was using for about 2 years back when it was around April 1st this year. And now 5 months later on, since obviously the purchase of it, we're having to say goodbye and farewell. And honestly, this is definitely not to say because it failed at anything or it was a bad phone or it didn't meet expectations as such. Nah, it wasn't even like that. But honestly, for her birthday, she wanted the Note 20 Ultra, which if you've seen on the channel, I've done an unboxing and a first impression. So I have that linked in the cards above and also in the description below. So, that's pretty much basically the main reason for the replacement and the switch up from the S20 Plus to the Note 20 Ultra. But before we say farewell, I wanted to give you my quick overview and my thoughts on the S20 Plus, looking from the outside in over the last 5 months. And the best impression I have for it is that it's a stable and strong upgrade from the S10 Plus, and especially for those that have an S9 Plus and definitely ones that are on the S8 Plus, it's worth considering the change and the upgrade for sure. Now, in this black color, the design is very straightforward and it's saying Samsung all the way, but honestly, that's a good thing. And in fact, this is the best and the most sensible and refined hardware design Samsung have right now, even against the swaggerlicious Note 20 Ultra. And of course, with the Samsung displays, nothing is new here. The display experience is great. And you know what? Funny enough, I set the display at full high definition plus 120 Hertz for my wife when I set up her phone. And that was from day one, and she hasn't complained of a low screen experience versus her previous device. So that's a good sign for her. But I do still wish for an option to have quad high definition plus and 120 Hertz, if not at least a third option with a 90 Hertz with QHD at the same time when it comes to the price point of this phone and where it sits. The haptics and the vibration mode are tight and well controlled, so it gives an overall experience to the UI that is great. And this is something where it's nice where you're navigating, and especially when you're doing things like typing, it's a really nice feedback and tactile experience on the S20 Plus. Now, although we do have the Exynos model where we are in UK and Europe, the performance on this 5G model with 12 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage and SD card support has been great, and there isn't really much to complain about here as well. Now, with tools like Smart Switch, Samsung really make it easy for you to set up and ready to go from your previous device. And with One UI, honestly, at first, especially coming from Oxygen OS on OnePlus that I'd been using for a little while, it kind of felt intimidating, and it's almost overwhelming how feature rich and powerful the OS layer on top of Android 10 is. But when you take a step back and you think about it, that's the unique selling point of the Samsung experience at the end of the day. And in a short space of time, you get used to it and you start to actually appreciate the features when you need them. The overall battery experience is good, and although not spectacular as such, having things like wireless power share, 15-watt wireless charging, and that really efficient 25-watt fast charging that comes with the phone to charge the 4500 milliamp hour battery, there isn't much to say bad about the battery experience, I personally think. Now, camera-wise, the S20 Plus pushes limits in a lot of areas such as the video capabilities and how it's able to do things like shooting 4K UHD 60 frames a second videos with stabilization on the selfie camera. And although much more of a proofing concept at this stage rather than being completely useful, it does shoot 8K video at 24 frames a second, which is crazy. And on top of that, it pretty much refines and keeps grounded what made Samsung camera hardware so good and set apart from the competition since back in the day with the S7 series, which is the use of super speed dual pixel autofocus on the standard main 12 megapixel sensor backed with a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera and also a 64 megapixel 1.1x zoom camera, which does ×3 hybrid zoom and 30x digital zoom, which in fact, that zoom camera is what actually enables the 8K recording on the S20 Plus and also there is a time of flight sensor as well. This hardware choice is what made the S20 Plus camera system such a stable upgrade from the previous, and also what made this much more reliable as a camera system when using it versus the S20 Ultra. And it's honestly the best balance between, let's be honest, overkill and refining and improving the formula that worked over the years. Now yes, although this is not a full review, it's more of a farewell to the S20 Plus, and on the used market in the UK, the prices are so much more accessible for it now that even less than 6 months on, it becomes even more of a bargain and could be that Malcolm in the middle, the under the radar smartphone to get in the pool of new phones still coming out fast in 2020. That is it from the S20 Plus. If you enjoy content like this, Ben from Lover of Tech, you know exactly what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future content that is posted on the Lover of Tech channel. I hope you guys are safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.